Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli, and the reason I'm smiling is because sometimes, when you're feeling like you're out of material, whether it's as a comic or as a YouTuber or as a podcaster, the universe just kind of drops something in your lap. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this already. It was really crazy what happened with Alec Baldwin, and I didn't even know about it. Once again, I just happened to be looking over the computer, over my kid's shoulder, over Logan's shoulder, at the computer screen while he was on Twitter, and Alec Baldwin shot two people on a movie set, apparently accidentally, but man, does this raise a lot of questions, doesn't it? First of all, well, the candle's sliding towards me. Ooh, it's like a seance. It's like a Ouija board. But it's so many questions. First of all, let me say I'm a big fan of Alec Baldwin. I've always thought he was a good actor, even in the early days when he was in Married to the Mob and Beetlejuice, and She's Having a Baby. He had little parts, decent-sized parts in a lot of those movies. I liked him right away, and as he did bigger roles, and especially 30 Rock. I loved him on 30 Rock, where he played Tina Fey's boss, who's kind of a oh gosh, what's his name, the guy who runs Saturday Night Live, Lorne Michaels. He played like a Lorne Michaels business type who had to run this show and kind of hated running this show because he didn't understand comedy. That's obviously not true of Lorne Michaels, but it was like a more business savvy Lorne Michaels type of character. And if you've never seen 30 Rock, I think you'd really like it. If you like quirky writing, you'll like 30 Rock. And Alec Baldwin was wonderful in it. Alec Baldwin is also in two Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which is a little show that Jerry Seinfeld produces and hosts, where he literally takes guys for coffee and then they just talk. And he has both of the Alec Baldwins are a lot of fun. Alec Baldwin is hilarious. Obviously he's not a stand-up comic, but he has great stories, and he just knows how to talk, and he's funny as shit. And all of those are both very entertaining episodes. I think they're still on Netflix. I would seek them out if you're interested in seeing Alec Baldwin be himself and be funny. But yeah, I loved him in The Departed, whenever he plays like a Boston tough guy or like a cop type. I love that stuff. So this is so strange. So apparently what happened was he had a prop gun, and this is it's a Western. It's being shot down in Santa Fe. Apparently they do a lot of Westerns here, and if you notice, if you watch, I don't watch a lot of Westerns, but if you watch these movies carefully, you'll see that they're pretty similar sets, and it's a similar geography, and a lot of these movies are done in this place in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And like I said, the movie's called Rust. It's a Western, and he apparently had a prop gun, which somehow, now here's the thing I don't understand. How can a prop gun even carry live ammunition? Why is that even possible? Why would there be a need for any live ammunition on any movie set ever? I don't get it. And so, and then secondly, who he shot the cinematographer twice. She died, and he shot the director once, and he's injured and in the hospital. Why would you be shooting or even pretending to shoot, if that's your defense, those two people? Wouldn't you have shot a fellow actor? You're doing a walkthrough, you're doing like a cold, not a table read, but like a cold read. You're practicing, like, okay, I'm going to shoot the gun twice, blank, blank. But why would you be practicing that with those two people who have a lot to do with the production, but nothing to do with the acting, nothing to do with nothing to do with the play that's happening on screen? It's very, very odd and unusual. There are pictures of Alec Baldwin, one which I'll put on the thumbnail of this video, one where he looks eerily like Nick Nolte in his mugshot. The hair is all disheveled, and he's got a beard, and he looks really ragged and tired, which is perfect for a Western, but not real great when you want to look innocent in a case like this. I don't know if a lot of you remember this. This is one of the first things I thought of was Jason Lee and his tragedy. For those of you that don't remember or don't know, Jason Lee was Bruce Lee's son, and he did a movie called The Crow. Really good movie, very dark, very gothy. See how it went dark when I said dark? I'm telling you, man, Halloween. But so Jason Lee, I think, was also accomplished in martial arts in his own right, and a good-looking guy, and looked like he was going to be one of the next big stars in 1993 when The Crow was about to release, and gets shot with a live round and a prop gun. And once again, now this one at least you could maybe say, okay, well, at least it was actors on screen doing this, and maybe somebody. And this is another question: did somebody had to set this up? Somebody had to put a live round in that gun, and oh yeah, this gun that's going to fire at Jason Lee in this scene. So there were always, there's always going to be that question of why did this happen? This looks like a setup. This looks very suspicious. And to be fair, I should have done some research. As you know, I never do research, or rarely, but I should have looked into what happened with the Jason Lee case, because the only thing I know that came about after that is that they did put new standards in place in Hollywood, and apparently not in Santa Fe, but in Hollywood, to prevent this tragedy from ever happening again. As far as I know, it hasn't happened since 1993 until today, or yesterday, whenever it happened. So it's been 28 years, which is good, but I still, like I said before, why? Why is there live ammunition anywhere near the set? Why do these guns even have the capability of firing live rounds? It's so bizarre to me. Now I guess I'm in the mode where I got to try to stretch this out to 10 minutes, because I think most of the questions I have eventually will be answered. Like I said, I'm going to talk about a little bit Alec Baldwin more, his personal life, and how tumultuous that's been. For those of you who do or don't know, he was once married to the very hot and very popular Kim Basinger back in the 80s or 90s. Tumultuous relationship. It was almost like a Sean Penn Madonna thing, where you would just hear about these crazy fights and all this drama, and eventually they did get divorced. He has children now, and he had children at a late age. He's in his 60s now, and his kids are, I think, still in their single digits, maybe around 10. But he has 2 or 3 kids, and they're young. His wife's a decent amount younger than him, and that's kind of a tragedy too. I mean, what's going to happen to this family? I mean, I don't think the kids will ever be hurting for money. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where, even if he is convicted of, let's say, murder, let's say the worst case scenario can happen, and he does time. I would assume the wife still has rights to that money, and the children will be fine, at least monetarily, even if they don't have their real father figure in their life. But it's just such a bizarre thing. As we know, Alec Baldwin is one of the most liberal, loudest liberal voices coming out of Hollywood. A lot of people resent him for that. Obviously, it's part of the reason I like him. He said some foolish things that even I was like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like back in, I think it was 2000. When George Bush was elected. It might have been on the second time, might have been in 2004, but he said, he and some other Hollywood people said, we will leave the country, we will go to Canada. Of course he didn't, and why would you? If you really believe in that this country's worth fighting for, you stay here and you fight for it. You cast your votes, you use your voice, and you try to influence people to think, or at least kind of see your point of view on stuff, and maybe change things that way. Having said that, if I were to leave this country, it wouldn't be because I'm scared to be here anymore, or I don't like what it has become. In some ways I don't, but in some ways I still think we're the greatest country in the world. But I really just want to move north, because the planet's on fire. Segue to fire. But I can still move north to Alaska, and my stepbrother lives up there outside of Anchorage and Eagle River. So, Rusty, I'm coming, just so you know, and I'm bringing my kids with me. But honestly, if there were a place I was going to move to, it'd be probably Alaska, maybe the northeast United States, like way up there, like Vermont or Maine, somewhere like that, because I like the cold weather. I'm sitting out here. It's not cold tonight. It's like 50 for an October night. That's not very cold. Or maybe I'd live down in New Zealand. I've always had the dream of living down there, because it's just gorgeous and temperate and beautiful. But anyway, back to Alec Baldwin for a little bit before we close it out. But he... I haven't followed him much lately, just as a person. I mean, I know he was doing Trump. He was on Saturday Night Live. He was the main guy imitating Trump, or however you want to put it. I don't even know how to put it. He was acting as Trump during these sketches, and I was fine with that. He does great imitations of all kinds of people. He's been on Saturday Night Live. I think he's hosted like 15 times. He's one of the top hosters, he and Tom Hanks. So he's just an entertainer. So, you know, if you don't like his politics, then you can choose not to watch him or tell him to go to another country or whatever, but I don't know. He's just an entertainer. You can always turn the channel. Hopefully you don't turn my channel. My 3 beautiful listeners and watchers. You guys have a great night. Trying to catch up on these videos. Hopefully I'll be caught up by the end of the month and reach my goal of 365 at the end of the year. All right, thanks guys. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.